Hello, in this video I will be discussing about three statements that an assessee has to verify before filing his income tax returns. The first statement is Form 26 AS. The second one is Annual Information Statement, that is AIS. The third one is Tax Information Statement, that is TIS. These three statements an assessee has to invariably verify before filing his income tax returns. How to verify these statements in income tax portal? You need to log into income tax portal. The income tax portal will look like this. The home page of income tax portal will appear in this fashion. On the right hand side top, you will see two tabs. The first tab is login tab. The second one is register tab. New users who have not registered in income tax portal can register themselves using this register tab. The assessees who have already registered themselves can tap on the login tab. Then the second login page will appear in this fashion, wherein you need to give your PAN as user ID and click on continue button. The second screen will be your password entering screen. You have to enter your password which you have given while registering your PAN with income tax portal. After entering the PAN, click on continue button. Then the dashboard of your income tax account will appear. Beside the dashboard tab, there will be a tab which says e-file. This e-file tab, if you click on it, then a drop down menu will appear in which the first tab will be income tax returns. Click on income tax returns tab. Then another drop down list will appear and the fourth tab will be view form 26 AS. Click on that tab. Then you will see a disclaimer on which you have to click on confirm button. If you click on confirm button, you will be directed to Traces portal. The full form of Traces is TDS Reconciliation Analysis and Correction Enabling System. So you will be directed to Traces portal, wherein you have to click in the dialog box and click on proceed button. After clicking on proceed button, on the home page of Traces, the first tab will be view or verify tax credit. Click on that tab. A drop down menu will appear and the first tab will be view form 26 AS or annual statement. Click on it. Then you will be asked to select assessment year for which you want to verify your form 26 AS. After selecting the assessment year, the next thing that it asks is view as. There will be two options for viewing form 26 AS. The first one will be HTML and the second one will be text. I recommend you to opt for HTML format to view or download form 26 AS. After selecting the view as button and click on the tab which says view or download. After clicking on the tab, your Form 26 AS will appear. First of all, what is Form 26 AS? Form 26 AS is a statement wherein you can verify your tax credits, that is TDS, TCS, advance tax, self assessment tax, tax on regular assessment, your refunds, incomes such as dividends, maturity of insurance policies, your interest on refunds, TDS defaults, and your turnover as per GST returns. All these items you can verify in Form 26 AS. Now, I will discuss with you each and every part of Form 26 AS. Part A. This Part A gives you details of tax deducted at source. For example, an employee whose income is more than taxable limit and his employer has deducted tax from his salary, that tax deducted will appear in Part A of Form 26 AS. The second part is Part A1. This Part A1 gives you details of all your incomes for which you have submitted Form 15G bar Form 15H. What is this Form 15G, 15H? The only difference between Form 15G and 15H is Form 15G will be given by non-senior citizen, whereas Form 15H will be given by an assessee who is senior citizen. Why will an assessee give Form 15G or 15H? An assessee whose income is less than taxable limit of 2.5 lakh or 3 lakhs as the case may be, can give a declaration in Form 15G or 15H saying that my income is less than taxable limit and so don't deduct tax at source. So an assessee who has given Form 15G and 15H, the deductor will not deduct any tax, but those incomes will reflect in Part A1 of Form 26 AS. Then Form 26 AS has a part which pertains to tax deduction at source when you sell an immovable property. For this, I'll give a simple example. An assessee has sold a residential property whose registration value is more than
50 lakhs.
In such a case, the buyer, while giving the sale consideration to the seller, will deduct 1% from the sale consideration. That 1% will appear in Part A2 of Form 26 AS. Part B. Details of tax collected at source. A simple example of this tax collected at source is an assessee has purchased a vehicle whose value is more than 10 lakhs. Then the seller of that vehicle will collect 1% from the buyer, that 1% of tax collected from the buyer of the vehicle whose value is more than 10 lakhs will appear in part B of his 26 AS. Part C, the last one which is appearing in this slide, part C, this pertains to all taxes that an assessee has paid other than the details appearing in part A, that is TDS, and details appearing in part B, that is TCS. What are the taxes that an assessee pays other than TDS and TCS? One of the tax is advance tax, which he pays in 4 installments during the assessment year. The second one is self-assessment tax that he pays after the financial year and before filing his income tax return. The third one is tax on regular assessment, which will be paid by an assessee after filing his income tax return and a demand has been raised by assessing officer in his assessment order. So his advance tax, self-assessment tax, tax on regular assessment will appear in part C of Form 26 AS. The next part is part B, which has details of all income tax refunds that an assessee has received during the assessment year. These refunds may pertain to any previous years, but he has received during the current assessment year. Those refunds will appear in part D. Part E, which is very important, this has details of special financial transactions. Example of special financial transactions are if an assessee has dealt in purchase or sale of shares, debentures, mutual funds, etc. will appear in part E. Part F. Earlier we have seen part A2, which has TDS on sale of immovable property. Part F is in relation to the same sale of immovable property but from buyer's angle. This part F details will appear in this part when you are a buyer of a property whose value is more than 50 lakhs and you have deducted tax at source. Any amounts that are reflecting in part B, the assessee cannot take part B, the assessee cannot take credit of those TDS amounts appearing in part F. Part G. Part G pertains to TDS defaults that a deductor has made during the assessment year, such as delay in payment of TDS amounts that he has deducted or filing of quarterly returns within the due date. Those defaults will appear in part G. The last part, part H, is with respect to assessees who are carrying out business or profession and or registered under GST. Those assessees would have filed GSTR 3B declaring their turnovers. Those turnovers will appear in part H. These are the details which will appear in Form 26 AS, and an assessee has to invariably verify these details and see that these details are included in his income tax return that he will be filing. After verifying your Form 26 AS, you have to verify another statement which is called as annual information statement. To verify your annual information statement, you have to log into your income tax portal, and from the dashboard the third tab will be services tab. Click on services tab and a drop down menu will appear wherein you can see annual information statement. Click on that annual information statement, and in the next screen you will be seeing a tab wherein you need to click on proceed button. After clicking on proceed button, you will be directed to compliance portal. The home page of compliance portal will appear in this fashion. You can see instructions tab and AIS tab. Click on AIS tab. Then you will be seeing two menus. The first one is taxpayer information summary, which is TIS. The second one is annual information statement. You have to select the financial year for which you want to verify your annual information statement and click on annual information statement tab. After clicking on it, your annual information statement will appear, in which there will be an option to download your annual information statement also. In annual information statement, there will be two parts. The first part is part A, which has general information, in which the name of assessee, PAN, Aadhaar, date of birth will appear. Part B is most important. In part B, the first tab will be TDS bar TCS information. When you click on TDS bar TCS statement, you will again see all the tax deductions or tax collections that have been done in your PAN. The same information which appears in Form 26 AS Part A, Part B will appear in this tab also. Then what is the difference, or rather what is the use to verify annual information statement? The difference between Form 26 AS and AIS is this feedback option which you can give. What is the use of feedback? Sometimes deductor, while deducting tax, can make some errors, mistakes, etc. For example, I have 1 lakh fixed deposit in a bank, and the bank will be giving me 8% interest. So 8,000 will be my interest income, and 10% on that 800 the bank will be deducting. But some reason, maybe manual error, such as while feeding in, the concerned person would have entered my interest and TDS twice. Then In my form 26 AS, that entry might appear twice, whereas the correct income would be only one. In such a case, I can give a feedback. If you click on this feedback optional tab, you will be seeing a drop down menu where you can select different options for your incomes and TDS. The first option will be information is correct. This is optional. If the information which is appearing in your form 26 AS and AIS are correct, you can give feedback or leave it. It is optional. Then, if that income which is reflecting in your AIS is not taxable, then you can give a feedback saying that the income appearing in my AIS is not taxable. Why should you give this feedback? The reason why this option is there is this income which is appearing might not be taxable, and you would have shown this income as exempted income in your income tax return. But sometimes income tax portal, while processing the return, might consider that exempted income as taxable income. Then if you give a feedback saying that the income is not taxable, then income tax portal, while processing your income tax return, will definitely consider your exempted income as not taxable income. Then, in the previous example which I have given regarding the interest income from a bank, that interest income, one entry is not correct. So I will give this option of information is not fully correct. In some cases, income of another PAN or any future years or previous years income might be appearing in current financial year. Then you can select this option wherein you can give a feedback saying that this information pertains to other PAN or other financial year. The next option or feedback which you can give is information is duplicate or included in another information. In the example which I have given you regarding the interest income, my information is duplicated. Then I can select one entry and say that the information is duplicate. And some entries will be there which does not pertains to you and you don't have any information. Then you can simply give information is denied. That is, you are not accepting with the information which is appearing in your AIS. After giving your feedback, click on submit button. Then your feedback will be registered in your annual information statement. What is the use of giving the option? If you give your feedback, then income tax portal will consider your feedback, and while processing your income tax return, they will consider your feedback and process your income tax return and generate the assessment order accordingly. This is about annual information statement. You can download your annual information statement. When you download your annual information statement, Part B will be related to tax deducted at source or tax collected at source. Part B1. Part B2, which is very important. This part B2 pertains to specified financial transactions. This specified financial transactions include your interest on savings bank account, which will not reflect in your Form 26 AS, your transactions in shares, debentures, commodities, mutual funds, etc., will appear in Part B2. Part B7. Any other information, tax information summary, TIS. This is a very straightforward statement wherein an assessee can get his information with regard to arriving his taxable income. When you click on taxpayer summary, the next screen will be your TIS. The first segment will be general information, wherein you can see the PAN, Aadhaar number, name of assessee, date of birth, and other information like address and all. In the next segment, the information category, you will find business receipts, GST turnover, GST purchases. All these information which are reflected in TIS will help an assessee to arrive at his taxable income. So, an assessee, before filing his income tax return, has to verify Form 26 AS, annual information statement, and taxpayer information summary. Thank you.